Hello, friends. Welcome to the show. I'm Andy Knode, and 25 years ago today, the episode Pretty Poison aired for Batman the Animated Series, September 14th, 1992. All right, so this is a solid episode. This is the first episode that features Poison Ivy. Although it's not one of my favorite villains from the Rogues Gallery, it is a very inventive villain.
I hear he's not expected to live. Oh, it's so sad.
Why, Isley?
Oh, please. Call me Poison Ivy.
All right, so here we go. Like always, I'm going to give you the 30-second rundown of the episode. This episode once again starts as a flashback of Harvey Dent and Bruce breaking ground on the new state penitentiary that is going to take over this unused plot of land. Fast forward 5 years later, and Stonegate Penitentiary is up and running, and Harvey Dent has a new woman in his life, Pamela Isley. After a date, Harvey Dent ends up in the hospital. Now Batman's on a quest to find the antidote for the poison and finds out that it's from a plant that has been long extinct. He starts doing some research with the help of Alfred on Harvey Dent's new girlfriend to find out that she is, in fact, Poison Ivy. He goes, battles her, and is able to get the antidote and save Harvey Dent just in time.
Now, Harv, about your engagement to Pamela Isley. We're good friends, right? Mm-hmm. I have to be honest with you, don't I? Mm-hmm. Okay, then. I think Pam is wrong for you.
Hmm? One of the real standouts in this episode is Harvey Dent. I think it's really neat that there's an episode that features Harvey Dent before he becomes Two-Face. Spoiler alert, Harvey Dent is Two-Face. Now, we did see him earlier in the office of Commissioner Gordon in one of the previous episodes just flipping a coin, which I thought was a nice little foreshadowing of what's to come.
There's nothing we don't know about each other.
But in this episode, we just have Harvey Dent as district attorney. I think it's really neat in this episode that we're able to establish a relationship, a real friendship between Harvey Dent and Bruce Wayne, which obviously later on becomes the subject of many of the episodes involving Two-Face, that there was a real friendship leading up to it.
Bruce? Nah, he's always late. He probably got hung up on business.
By having it established in this episode before Harvey Dent becomes Two-Face, we get to really feel that relationship and understand that there is a true bond there between these two friends.
Fight, Harvey. Fight.
I think the other big star of this episode is the writing. This was the first episode in production order that was written by Paul Dini. Although we've seen a few other ones in the airing order, this was the first one in production that he wrote. Some of the elements of this episode that really bring things full circle, that Harvey Dent is working to break ground to open up a new state penitentiary. By doing that, he causes a flower to go extinct, which turns Poison Ivy onto him. And then at the end of the episode, Poison Ivy ends up in Stonegate Penitentiary, which they were opening at the beginning of the episode.
They can bury me in the ground as deep as they like. But I'll grow back. We always grow back. Don't we, baby?
The other thing that's well established in this is that Batman doesn't always just rely on brute strength to overpower his enemies.
Who are you?
I'm your worst nightmare.
That in that final battle with Poison Ivy, he simply holds the plant, the flower that she cares so much about, over the fiery pit as leverage to exchange the life of the plant for the antidote to save Harvey Dent, to save his friend.
Enjoy extinction, Batman!
I'm not going alone. The bottle for the weed. What's it gonna be?
My baby!
And I think that that's a powerful tool that Batman has always used, that is a very strong characteristic of Batman. And one of the reasons why he's honestly my favorite superhero is that it's not just about the strength of overpowering his enemies, but he uses his brain and uses his intellect to overpower and outthink his enemies rather than just focusing on fighting them and overpowering them and wrestling them to the ground. Nothing against Superman. I'm just saying that Batman uses his brain sometimes. Side note, Batman versus Superman, we all know who the winner was. We all know.
So his fate was sealed. With a kiss.
This is another one of those episodes that 22 and a half minutes pass, and when I think back to everything that happened in the episode, there's a lot that's crammed into that. It really feels like you could have taken the story, the plot of this episode, and expanded it to a full 2-hour movie. But it fit quite nicely into a 22 and a half minute episode. This is a prime example of episodes that really feel like like you're watching a mini movie just encapsulated in a smaller time frame. There's love, there's betrayal, there's revenge, there's good versus evil, just a lot of great elements, a lot of great plot devices crammed into this one single episode.
Promise to call me if there's any change.
I will. You get some rest.
Harvey's lucky to have such a good friend. Good night, Bruce.
Good night, Pam.
So when it came time to rank this episode, it's becoming more and more difficult the more episodes that we build to find the most accurate placement of the episodes. And I have to weigh a lot of different factors in that. So this one I placed in the number 4 slot, just above On Leather Wings, because although On Leather Wings has really great animation and it's very dark and very moody and very Batman, this one had a really inventive story. So the question for you today to discuss below, do you feel that the story or the animation is more important in the episodes? Obviously, we're going to say that when the story and the animation really line up together, that's where you get episodes like Heart of Ice and Clayface and things like that. But if you have one over the other, which do you think is more important? Now, tomorrow we're going to be taking a look at the episode Nothing to Fear. As always, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. I'm Andy Knode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.